So Tyquan Thornton is doing the impossible. When I say that, he is really surprising a lot of people in this Kansas City Chiefs coaching staff, and he's surprising Kansas City Chiefs fans in general. So Tyquan Thornton has been doing very well in practices, and it's looking like he could end up being a wide receiver 3. Now, I know you're probably like, bro, what? How's Tyquan Thornton going to magically be better than Hollywood and Royals? Now, I just made a video about Royals, and at this point, it's either Tyquan Thornton or Royals who could be wide receiver 3. And I understand the hype with Hollywood. You know, we love Hollywood, but at the end of the day, Hollywood can't stay healthy, man. Like, he can't stay healthy, right? Now, Hollywood's a very good player that should definitely be considered, you know, the wide receiver 3. Because on the depth chart, technically, he is the wide receiver 3 right now. But like I said, the real truth about Hollywood Brown is that the man cannot stay healthy. Can't stay healthy. Like, I'm not going to lie. So when you got a guy like Tyquan Thornton who's balling, who's proving himself, and I know a lot of people probably like, bro, this is another person you're hyping up during training camp, you know. But at the end of the day, you can't really say I'm hyping the dude up when Mahomes is trusting him. Like, Mahomes is trusting him. Mahomes is throwing the ball to him a lot. Mahomes seems to have faith in Tyquan Thornton, and he's impressing not only Mahomes, but he's been impressing Andy Reid. He's impressing everybody. He's flashing with Patrick Mahomes, you know. And he's a veteran wide receiver, but they're going to have to probably give him extra playing time in the August 9th game against the Arizona Cardinals in the preseason, because he's been turning heads with his recent performance at training camp practices, you know. Now, you know that Thornton began his career as a second-round pick of the New England Patriots in the 2022 NFL Draft, but he's been one of Kansas City's most consistently impressive wideouts during drills, and he's been, you know, just hauling in some eye-popping catches during these training camp workouts. He's been very good, bro. No doubt about it. He's been very good. And some fans, they did doubt Thornton's ability to earn a spot on the Chiefs' 53-man roster when training camp began in July. But, you know, now he's convincing everybody that he should have that spot, especially because we're going to need more wide receiver depth with Rashee Rice getting injured. Rashee Rice getting suspended, and Hollywood Brown, who battles with injuries a lot. There's also been some injury scares, you know, for Hollywood recently. Worthy's even has some, but Worthy's obviously back and doing good. So veteran pass catcher Tyquan Thornton, he's been taking advantage of this, and he's shown instant chemistry with Patrick Mahomes, you know. And I feel like he brings a lot to the team because he's a tall, speedy wide receiver, and you can never fail with that. A tall, speedy wide receiver. It's just like, that's something you love. Come on now, let's be real. You know, with Rashee Rice expected to miss the first part of the season, depth at the position is incredibly important. You know, there's been some early injury scares for Hollywood Brown, like I said. So, you know, and Worthy. So, seeing Tyquan Thornton take advantage of it and showing that instant chemistry with Mahomes is something spectacular right there. And you got to remember, he already kind of had to learn the offense. He kind of knew the offense because he spent 2024 as a member of the Chiefs practice squad. But now Thornton is clearly making a push to start the season on the roster. You know, obviously it's an uphill battle because there's a lot of options on this team that's already proven. But Thornton's going to have to continue into the preseason. You know, he's going to have to continue into the preseason, most definitely. And he's going to have a good preseason. You know, it's not just training camp. He's got to keep continuing with these opportunities. But, man, the chemistry between him and Mahomes is something special. It's definitely something special. When you see Patrick Mahomes trusting somebody like that, it means a lot. You know, it definitely means a lot. And like I said, bro, him and Xavier Worthy could be dangerous because they're both very quick. I want to see them run plays with each other. You know, I just want to see a lot out of these two players. But like I said, man, Tyquan, I really rock with my boy Tyquan. So to see what he's doing right now and see the plays he's making and how he's cooking up in training camp, that's honestly good. My cousin, who's a Patriots fan, actually, you know, he don't believe the hype. He don't believe the hype, but he said Tyquan Thornton does this all the time in training camp. But honestly, man, I don't know. Patrick Mahomes seems to believe the hype. Patrick Mahomes is loving Tyquan Thornton. And you know how it is. Once Patrick Mahomes loves somebody, you're going to get him the ball. Even Mahomes even was passing the MVS, if we being real. So Tyquan Thornton's gonna get looks. He's gonna get targets, no doubt about that. And Thornton even said himself that the reason why the Chiefs was an appealing decision for him is because the offensive scheme. You know, he said coming out here, seeing how the Chiefs play, a lot of guys, a great room, a great quarterback, and playing with Andy Reid for sure. So obviously, Tyquan Thornton, he loves how the Chiefs does things, how they operate. You know, he said, quote, just seeing a different type of culture here, seeing how they go out there and play fast, be precise, and going out there and just making plays. So Tyquan Thornton, you know, maybe he needed a fresh start, and the Kansas City Chiefs are giving Tyquan Thornton a fresh start. And like I said, he is starting to become a lock to make the roster, and that's because once you have chemistry with Pat, that good, that big of a chemistry, then obviously you're going to make the roster, because Patrick Mahomes is going to vouch for Tyquan. He's going to be like, oh, this guy, you know, I made a lot of passes to him. You know, me and him got a good connection. You got to keep him around, da-da-da-da. And that's how it goes, you know. That's how it goes. So it's good, though, because the Chiefs, man, they building a very speedy team between Hollywood, Worthy, Tyquan Thornton, Royals, and Rice. This is an explosive receiving core. That's why I'm just excited for week 1 of the NFL. Right now, it's August 7th, so obviously we still have a lot of time before week 1 comes. But man, I cannot wait, bruh. I cannot wait. Like, you don't understand. I can't wait. Because literally, once NFL starts, we in a whole nother chapter. I'm telling y'all. Once NFL starts, we in a whole nother chapter. The reason why I say we in a whole nother chapter is because this is not just, you gotta remember, this is not just a regular Chiefs team, right? This is Dynasty. We're talking Dynasty. So when you got a team that you're a fan of, but they're a dynasty, that changes everything. That changes everything. So just expect to see a big year out of not only the Chiefs, but a big year out of me. Like, my content is going to actually increase to a whole nother level. I'm going to be going crazy with the content, you know. And like I told you, I'm injured right now on my knee, so I haven't really been at work. But I'm probably going back next week, but I'm not going to let that change everything. I'm actually going to video prep. So I'm going to make a bunch of videos and make sure I have a lot of videos lined up for y'all. So don't worry about me going back to work. I'm still going to be consistent. I'm not going to get inconsistent just because I'm working. It only takes 10 to 20 minutes to make a YouTube video. It's not that bad. But if you enjoyed this video, man, you know what to do. Like and subscribe. It's been your boy Chiefs Priority, and I'm out. Peace.